Barrett Kohler Publishers presents Activating the Common Good, Reclaiming Control of Our Collective Well-Being. Written by Peter Block. Narrated by Alex Christiansen. Dedication. To John McKnight, the words and ideas of neighborhood, gifts, productive functions of citizens, the limits of institutions, and most of what is the foundation for this audiobook I learned from John. Plus, most of the people who are bringing these ideas to life I met through John. He has been a light unto the world for many decades. We've traveled many places and given many talks together, where most times John opens with the content and changes the world with his ideas. Then I break people into small groups. I got the better side of the deal. To Walter Brueggemann. Walter, an Old Testament scholar, has opened worlds in his lifelong devotion to interpreting and bringing sacred stories of the Bible to all who read and listen. His studies have lifted into view unexpected and merely human parts of the Bible that have been overlooked in our selective way of seeking certainty and a comfortable story. His friendship, teaching, and writing gave me a memory of what it means to be a Jew, something I had forgotten or never knew. I discovered it was me that was a slave to Pharaoh for 400 years and then got lost in the wilderness, half thinking that at least under Pharaoh life was predictable. Walter's prophecy gives us the insight that it is neighborliness, found in unexpected places, that sustains us in impossible times, which is all this audiobook is about. Epigraph. Though the commons is everywhere, it is little noticed. For economists, it is a kind of inchoate mass that awaits the vivifying hand of the market to attain life. Forests are worthless until they become timber, just as quiet is worthless until it becomes advertising. Jonathan Rowe. Sidewalk contacts are the small change from which the wealth of public life may grow. Jane Jacobs. The cultural ideals were the knight, the monk, the philosopher, and then they were all superseded by the cultural ideal of the businessman. Robert Inkowski. Hannah Arendt, covering the Eichmann trial for The New Yorker, advanced the theory of the banality of evil. There was nothing particularly rotten about Eichmann. He was not a psychopath, but merely a painfully average man who regarded the state-sponsored madness around him as normal, and therefore never hesitated to partake in its crimes. Liel Leibovitz. We are not divided. All of us, one way or another, are drawn to what is considered good for the earth, for the community, for the general well-being of all individuals. This can go under the idea called the common good, one dictionary definition being the good, welfare, or prosperity of a community or country as a whole. Common well-being, the public interest. Given the inherent appeal of caring for what we all hold in common, it is confounding why this concept is not more at the center of our day-to-day collective attention. The intent of this audiobook is to do something about that. The challenge is that we are now enveloped by a dominant culture that treats what is in the interest of our common good as an afterthought or a subject of contention. Concerns about the sustainability of the environment, social justice, an economy that works for all, care for the vulnerable, and more appear to hold simply a minority appeal, albeit a passionate and powerfully invested minority. The common good in modern society is not well served. We continue to reinforce and sustain social inequity, an increasingly fragile environment, violence in word and deed, and a general uneasiness about the human project. The challenge explored in this audiobook is to discover what more we can do to reinforce the efforts to bring about a shift in the dominant culture. Most current efforts to support the common good take several forms of activism. These include policy debates and advocacy, protests, decades of accumulating evidence on the climate crisis, theories of a new economics, more legislation.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?